Welcome to the question of the day. Today's question is from Jamie in North Carolina. And Jamie asks, why do we cost more than our competitors? It's a sizable difference, he says. It's a few $1,000s more for the exact same thing. Great question. I get this question a lot. And I'm going to give you a quick answer and then we'll go deeper into this. The quick answer is you're not selling the same thing. It's not the same. If it is the same, yeah, I would go with the cheaper one too, but it's not the same. If you're a vendor selling boxes, yes, it's the same thing, right? But you're not just selling boxes. You're not just selling widgets. You're selling an experience. There's something more that's coming with that. Because yeah, if there was two apples, right, and they were identical apples in every way, same kind, same taste, same size, same age, same everything, and one was $20 and one was $2, of course, I would buy the $2 apple. But you're not the same. This isn't apples to apples. You should cost more. So here's the first thing I would do. First thing I would do, sit down and understand your numbers. Understand at a basic level where your number comes from. Why are you charging what you charge? If you're not the owner of the business, you don't need to know every in and out, but a basic level. What is the cost of the equipment? What is the cost of labor? The cost of sales? What is the cost of running a business? Like the call center, the vendors, the financing, the building itself, the trucks, all that stuff. Like what is that general cost? Know what that is because that's like your break even, right? Like I need to charge that to just to stay in business, just to keep the lights on and pay my people. But then you're not just any old business, you're a responsible business. Like you're doing this for a reason. You're not doing it just to have something to do every day. You're a responsible business. So you're going to have a profit built into there as well. So figuring out what that profit's going to be and building that into your price. But then even beyond that, there's all these things that you can't foresee. If you're a business owner, you can't tell the future. There are things that are going to hit you and hurt, and you didn't see them coming. It's not the hits that we see coming that hurt, it's the hits we didn't see coming that hurts. In one of my workshops, I do this example where I take all this traffic data and I break down basically, according to the insurance companies, the average driver will get into an accident once every 18 years based on the miles that you drive, et cetera, right? And I map this whole thing out just based on their data. And so if you compare that to a business that has vehicles on the road, it's much quicker than that. You can actually plan on, like, depending on the size of your business, 4 accidents every single year because of the amount of miles you drive. But we don't build that into our price. Most companies don't. If they do, it's kind of like a slush fund kind of thing. But we should be, because based on the data from the insurance companies, we're going to get at least 4 accidents every single year. Trucks are going to break down. I don't know how much that's going to be. I don't know how often. People are going to be out sick, which is going to cost me revenue. Like there's all these unforeseens that I don't know about yet. And I got to plan for those too, because even if I'm a responsible business and I'm building in profit, that's going to eat that profit away. And if I'm not a responsible business and I'm just trying to skate by, well, then that's what's going to put me out of business is those unforeseen things. I was in Michigan a while ago. I was working with a company and I was doing my objection boot camp. And we were talking about the price objection. And I was talking about double digit price or double digit profit built into the price. And as I went over that concept, the general manager sitting in the back of the room and he goes, "Ha!" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, what's so funny? What was so shocking there?" He said, "Double digit profit. We're lucky if we end up with 4% profit at the end of the year." And it's because of those unforeseens, right? So they had a plan, they executed that plan, they planned for all these things, and they planned for double digit profit. But at the end of the year, because of those unforeseen things, it shrunk down to like 4% profit. But at least they were still profitable, I guess. So understand where that number comes from. So that's what it costs. That's what it costs to do business. So now, once you know what that number is, you're probably going, whew, that's a lot of money just to be a profitable business here, just to grow a business. But it's the right number. It's math. It's not hocus pocus. It's not the owner just retiring to an island somewhere in the Caribbean, right? And just pocketing like that's a real number. So now your thinking shifts to, well, how do the other companies stay in business? If I'm charging this and they're charging thousands less, how do they stay in business? Well, the answer is they don't. There's a lot of statistics. 65% of small businesses go out of business within 10 years, less than 10 years, right? Read the book, The E-Myth. It talks about starting a small business. And I'll summarize the book here for you. It's hard. A business is hard. It is hard to do it. Most business owners get into the business because they love doing whatever it is they do. And they think like, I'll be free because you never work a day in your life if you're doing what you love, right? But it's hard. You have to be profitable and you have to do other things that you don't love. It's hard. I go to a lot of events and I'll talk to business owners, and there's a lot of business owners that will brag about the revenue that they're generating. Yeah, we generated X millions of dollars this year. And that's all well and good. But the question I like to ask is, tell me about profitability. How profitable were you this year? That's the number that I really care about, because you can drive tons of revenue, millions of dollars of revenue, and still just be breaking even. And you're just spinning your wheels doing this for nothing. You're not any further than you were the year before. But if you're profitable, that's where you're growing. And if you ask that question, that's where those companies that are bragging about their revenue, they get a lot quieter when you ask that question. But that's the real number. How profitable were you? So you are the right price. I'm confident in saying that price that you're charging, you're the right price. So now, secondly, now that we understand that price and we get it, we need to shift our mind to, what are you doing that your competitors aren't? I hear the word overhead a lot. Well, we have to charge more because we have all this overhead. Great. That means you're providing some kind of experience that your competitors aren't. Because you have that overhead, because you have that support, because you have those things, you are able to provide a better experience for your customers. So that's a good thing. Yes, you charge more, but you're giving a better experience. And so here's an exercise for you. I want you to do this exercise, do this as a team. It's very similar to, if you listen to the holiday objection episode that I did a little while ago, it's very similar to that. But this is every day. You're up against your competitors every day. So try this exercise. First, create a list of why you're better than your competitors. A comprehensive list of all the reasons you're better than your competitors. And it should be a lot. There should be a lot of reasons you're better than your competitors. If this is hard and you can't think of something, well, that's why you're having trouble with this here. If you don't know, how do your competitor or how do your customers know? They don't. So you have to know tons of reasons you're better than your competitors. Why are you better than the competition? You should know this. Number two, that list that you create as a team. And I say as a team because you want to get a lot of brains on this, right? You get more stuff on this list. But then that list that you've created now, start purging that. Start prioritizing that. What I want to prioritize is I want to prioritize the tangible things that customers can wrap their heads around, right? So a bad example would be quality work. If we said, hey, we're better than our competitors because we do quality work. That's probably true. I'm not doubting that. But the problem is, everybody says that. All your competitors say that too. And the customer doesn't know that until after the fact. They won't know until after the fact if they got quality work or not, right? So that's a poor one to lead with. A good one would be like a Google score or how many Google reviews you have. because that's something very tangible. I can go on my phone right now and I can look you up and I can look your competitor up and I can see the experience I'm going to get. And I can see how many people have commented on that because the more data, the better, right? So that's very tangible. So those more tangible things, those are the things that number three, I want to start weaving that into my process. So I'm going to put up my process, right? And you should have a documented process. I'm going to go through that process and I'm going to take those things off my list and start talking about how do I weave those in early to my process? How do I build value early? How do I be proactive? And I may even prioritize ones that I know my competitors are weak in. You should know your enemy, right? You should know your competition. Know where they're strong, know where they're weak, and where they're weak and I'm strong, weave those things in. So if I know my competitors have a 4.5 Google score and I have a 4.9, you better believe I'm going to talk about Google score because that is something that is going to make me stand out against my competitors. So know your competition as well. So being proactive, this is what's going to get you ahead. This is what's going to build value early so this objection doesn't come up. People know you cost more. People expect you to cost more. There's a company I work with in Ohio, and I couldn't believe it. I wrote with them call after call after call, and I heard it 3 different times in the same day. I heard customers say some version of, I called you because I knew you'd cost more, but I knew you would do it right. Some version of, so they are well known in their community that they are going to cost more, but they are also well known that you're going to get a better experience. You're going to get more for what you're paying. There's countless examples out there. Think of Apple, Samsung. They're the most expensive phones out there. They cost a lot more. If you want a cell phone that makes calls and texts and can get on the internet, you can get a lot cheaper phone than Apple or Samsung. We know this and we still pay more. We still go out, I got an iPhone right here, right? And so why do we do that? Because we're getting more with them. We know what we're getting and we're willing to pay more for it. Another great example, go to the grocery store or a gas station. Liquid Death. It's water in a can. It's not even fizzy water. It's regular water in a can. If you go to the gas station right now, a single can of Liquid Death water is going to cost $2 to $3 for a can of water. You can get free water out of the tap. You can get a case of bottled water for much cheaper, for that same price probably, but yet they're selling it and they're doing very well, $2 to $3 a can. It's water. They're doing great. Great marketing. That's what they're doing. Great marketing because you feel like you're getting something different and you're willing to pay for that, even over other drinks that have sugar and fizz and all caffeine, whatever. Like you're willing to pay for that, even though I can get it for much cheaper. It's water and they're marketing it as different, a different experience. So if Apple can do it, if Liquid Death can do it, you can do it. You can do it against Chuck in the truck down the street or Dan in the van down the street or whoever else, right? You are better than your competitor. So figure out what goes into that number, right? That number is the right number. I'd be willing to bet that number is the right number. If anything, it might actually be short. Most times when I work with a company, the number is actually short, not long. So that number is probably right or short. And then second, what do you do better than your competitors? Create that list. Prioritize that list. Weave those things into your process to establish right up front why you are the Apple of your industry. Whatever you're selling is free. What you're paying for is me. If you have a question, reach out to me either on social media or email. If you're following along, hit that follow button. Give us a rating. Give us some comments. All of that's going to be listed below in the show description. Let's get your own questions answered. Or if you're a Nexstar member, schedule a call with me. Let's address your question one-on-one. Let's dig into your specific situation. I'm Coach Chris. We'll see you tomorrow.